Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Little bit of airline flight today. It's been a while since I've checked out the CRJ. How's everyone doing? You guys can hear me, see me okay. Welcome back to the stream, guys. Just going to call you Sturt, Soggy. Glad you caught the stream. How are you doing? What time is it there? Hey Deso, nice workout before the stream, sounds good. On my end, I woke up very late. Oh my goodness, I haven't even finished my coffee. So I'll need a bit of warming up here, guys, bear with me. Hey Patrick, 23 months, goodness. GG man. Time flies, 1 month left. Before 2 years. Perfect timing, Tom. Perfect timing. Hey LL, how's it been? What have you been flying recently? So today, guys, we're checking out the CRJ 900. This is a new release from Aerosoft. They recently just released the CRJ 900 and 1000 version, so the pencil just got longer. Yeah, it's basically the same aircraft, just longer. I think same engine, same everything. I'm not so sure. But yeah, the feel is what's the main difference. It's a bit more sluggish, a bit more, how do you say? Be a bit more refined with the controls. But we'll see. No expert yet, I only did a test flight. But we'll try to do a full flight. Not very long though. I guess around only 300 kilometers more or less in the Canada area. And have you guys heard the news in Canada? Sad news about the flooding and everything. I think Vancouver is kind of cut off from all possible roads. Goodness, I hope they find a way through there. So what we can do is maybe we can help out, at least virtually. Take some passengers from Vancouver. Fly them out northbound. We'll see. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that, LL. Sorry for the sad news. Oh, hang in there, man. Hope we can help you forget in the meantime, at least. Right, so I don't really have a flight plan yet. I'm basically looking at little nav map right now because I want to fly in passable weather, because I want to see how the landscape looks like from above, even at airliner levels, at airliner altitude. So here's the little nav map. I'm basically looking. Vancouver is somewhere I'd like to start in, and it's good that the weather is good, so you can see the weather here. And I believe it's this one, right? Yeah, this icon from little nav map, if you're not familiar with it. It shows the weather. And those colors stand for something. Green is VFR. And then depending on how filled that circle is, that's how much clouds there are. So that's a few clouds, only 1/4 filled. I think it's few, scattered, broken, overcast, something like that. Like this one, scattered clouds, this one. Yeah, 3/4 of the way filled. And then you also see the winds, even without reading the ATIS, the METAR. You already see the weather more or less. Here we have winds. Each notch is like, I'm not sure, 10 knots, I guess. And then you have that like orange thing, that's a gust. So this might be like, I don't know, 15 gusting 20 or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. You can look here. 264 at 15 knots, gusting 20. So pretty strong winds, but it's coming from the west, and we have runways that are perfect for that. We have runway 26 right and left, so that even if it's gusting, we have amazing headwind. So 15 to 20 gusts. So that looks good. Clouds look okay, so that should have nice visibility. And I want to travel north because in the previous stream in ATS, we were exploring here from Vancouver. Actually from, what was the port here? I think this port, was it? I think so. Oh, that's Point Roberts. You guys have been telling me that in the previous ATS stream. But yes, we started somewhere here in the port, went north to Vancouver, went further north, past the, what do you call it, this 99 route here, highway, to Whistler, Squamish, and I want to fly that direction basically. So I just look at an airport that's northbound and I see this one, Prince George, which has perfect weather, right? It's green, doesn't have any fill, so that means the sky is clear. And if we measure the distance from Vancouver to Prince George, it's fairly short, 287 nautical miles. That's a very short trip, maybe 1 hour more or less. And that's going to be very easy on the time. And this is what I like about the CRJ, because they were built for these regional flights. And you get the full IFR benefit, like flying with their instrument flight rules, but you don't have to sit there for like 16 hours with the long hauls and whatnot. So it's just like a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour at most flights, which is perfect for me. I don't have as much time. Flying in Pro Mods Canada, yes. Goodness, 14 years. Yeah, those must have been amazing 14 years. Cherish that, man. Hey, Delta Golf Charlie. Sea to the Sky Highway, that's the one. Yes, exactly. Because from, yeah, I heard about that. Because from, what was that thing? Horseshoe Bay, I think is the starting point, was it? Where it's like sea level, and then you climb the mountains bit by bit as you go north. Sea to the Sky indeed. And we had some amazing sights in Pro Mods Canada last Friday in trucking, going through those roads. So I'm hoping to see some different perspective, literally, when we are like 30,000 feet up in the air. See how it looks like. Hey Jack, second time. How's it going, man? Sorry guys, I'm still warming up. My coffee is not even 1/4 consumed, and I woke up very late. Answer is still 42. Oh yeah, that's true. Did you answer where that came from? Where is that reference from? I remember asking about it last week. I guess I missed some messages. Sorry about that. Pro Mods Canada IRL. Yes, exactly. So yes, let's go with that. So it's going to be Vancouver, Charlie Yankee Victor Romeo, to Prince George, Charlie Yankee X-Ray Sierra. Okay, so let me type this here. So what we'll be doing is we'll be using SimBrief, because SimBrief is pretty good when it comes to airline flights, IFR. It's the easiest way to have those flight plans set for you. So let's do that together. First though, I'm going to flight aware just to see what real flights take this route from Vancouver to Prince George. Is it? Prince George indeed. Hey da! How's it been? How's your PC doing? Delta Golf Charlie, yes indeed. Historical amounts of heavy rainfall. Goodness. And yeah, Bricks from Pro Mods has been posting updates in the Discord chat, on our Discord server. Looks like all the other detours normally are also cut off. So Vancouver is cut off completely. I'm not sure how that works. So hopefully the government finds a way around it. Yeah, unfortunately not today, Tom. Takes a bit of prep to do something, so I cannot switch last minute. But we will go and explore it with the CRJ. We've explored it from 0 feet above ground using a truck, or maybe 1 foot above ground. Now we'll be doing it 30,000 feet above ground, and we'll see what the difference is. If we have time after this flight, then we can take that low and slow flying. That would be cool. The sea is flooding. PC is still out of commission. Goodness. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that's the one. Ah, there you go. Thank you. I believe I watched that movie before, but I guess I forgot about it. Hope it gets fixed soon. Now, granted, if you notice, there is actually no CRJ flight in here, so it's not really super accurate. So, but the CRJ 900s, Air Canada does have a lot of those, particularly Jazz, I believe, is the airline. It's the regional partner of Air Canada. So you see Air Canada, Jazz, they're under the same hierarchy there. They do have CRJ 900s in real life, but not on this route, because the routes that they have are a bit longer, like 3-hour flights, and it might take too much time here in the stream. So I took a shorter one. So let's just take note of the flight number. We'll copy that later. 8345, Jazz 8345 will be our flight number, okay? Let's go to SimBrief, simbrief.com. For Monday, is that the release of Farm Sim 22? Cool. I'll wait for your feedback on it. Charlie Yankee Victor Romeo, Charlie Yankee X-Ray Sierra. There we go. Airframe would be a CRJ 900. That's the one. And the climb profile will be a bit slower. It's the typical 250 to 90 74. Does anyone know what that means? 250 to 90 74. While I catch up with chat. Favorite Canadian city is Vancouver. That's great to hear. Yeah, so I really hope they're okay after the floods. Farm Sim 22 indeed. What time is it here right now? 8:15 a.m. 8:15. Upward and outward. Maybe we'll get our own private server again. We'll see. Courseplay is available in the base game. That's cool. So yes, 250 to 90 74, guys, is the climb profile. That just means 250 knots. Below 10,000 feet, that's the limit, right? Above 10,000 feet, it's 290 knots. So that's the climb speed that we'll be aiming for. And then when the 290 knots and the 0.74 Mach intersect, we switch to Mach speed. And it's going to be 0.74 Mach the rest of the way. So this is the typical climb profile of the CRJ. That one is a bit faster, 250, 320, 77. But we'll take this one. Good. Flight number, of course I forgot already. 8345. Okay, 8345. And the registration, do we copy that accurately? Yeah, why not? C-GJZV. If I can remember. Okay. Does that look good? ATC call sign. I don't know. Jazz 8345. Not sure. Is that how we call it? Or should it be JZA? Let's just leave it blank. That's okay. And this one is pre-populated already based on the weather. 26 left, indeed. We saw a while ago, right? Vancouver. Winds coming from the west, so we want to depart that way as well. 26 left is what was chosen for us, and there is a flight plan that's decided for us already. There are alternatives, but this one looks pretty good. No SIDS or stars though, but that's fine. We can make that work. Okay. I think I can make that happen. The alternative is this one. It's a bit more straightforward. I think I like this better. There's some airways here, Juliet 534. Okay, let's copy that. And the passengers, cargo, let's just keep that in automatic. Generate. Also guys, if you are interested in flying with us with On Air, we have our own virtual airline. I wanted to do that today, but it requires a bit more setup. We do have FBOs in Canada now, so we can go and fly that way. Alright. 1:15 my time on Saturday. Something I'm playing now. Huh. Oh, the Reno Air Races, I see. Is that together with the Game of the Year? Game of the Year I thought was Thursday, so Friday for me probably. A remix. Exactly. 250, 290, 74 during the climb. Walking away with the tractor. Yes, we have regional routes in on air. We have some managers in there. I think Perfect is working on the FBO network in Canada. We have 13 FBOs or 15 FBOs at the moment in there, I think. So I am looking forward to flying on air again. There have been so many updates since I've tried. So if you see here, what does it say? This is our operational flight plan, or OFP. 360, so that's our cruising altitude. Flight level 360, that's 36,000 feet. This is the fuel that we'll need to load, 10,000 pounds more or less. Normally pilots, this is like pilot discretion. Usually they add a bit more there depending on what they feel like, if this is normally enough or not. But all in all, our zero fuel weight will be 69,748, or almost 70,000 pounds. And the maximum, wait a minute, oh sorry, that's zero fuel weight. Takeoff weight is 79,000, and the max takeoff weight for this plane is 84.5. So we are skirting close to the edge there, but not too bad, right? This is the route that we're taking. I'll copy that in because we'll need that for pilot to ATC. And I do have a new mod. I haven't tried it in a full flight yet. I tried loading with it though. The simple traffic from Aerosoft should add some realistic liveries on the ground in the AI planes. So we'll see. 26 left is this one. We can maybe park over here. GA medium. Looks like a GA ramp. We can park here instead maybe. Let's see if that's more airliners. That's GA small. There is actually a payware plane for this one. A payware scenery for Vancouver. I haven't bought it. It's like 20 USD, I think. Maybe if we fly here enough, I will be tempted. Right, that looks good. Let me load that up. We are using AI traffic here, not live traffic, because with simple traffic, it adds some predefined routes, pre-pandemic era, so there should be lots of planes in here. Okay, it's 4:21. Let's maybe set it up for maybe, I don't know, 2 p.m, something like that. Let's see, live weather but not live time, just so we have nice visibility. Let's go and load it up. Good morning, adventure. How's it going? I believe it's Thursday, Tom, but I'm not so sure. Yeah, Reno Air Races and the Game of the Year thing. Good. Now I also will need to open pilot to ATC because I actually tried the default ATC. I gave it a chance offline. I tried it out. Still no go for me. Still no go, unfortunately. Still pretty buggy. But pilot to ATC is a lot more refined when it comes to air traffic control, so we'll be playing with that. Is that parking slot big enough for the 747? Oh my goodness. There is a 747 parking slot supposedly. Alright, you can see the planes loading in. Those are from simple traffic. Let's go and fly there for a bit before we get started. Alright. I believe so, LL. Before it used to. I actually got like instructions to hold short of the runway because there was a plane that was taking off or landing. I actually got those instructions from pilot to ATC before, so that's pretty good. So here is the effect of simple traffic, right? You get real life liveries without any other setup. It's just like literally one click install. You have Air Canada, you have United. Depending on where you spawn in, you'll get corresponding liveries that are appropriate. So if you spawn in China, you'll get lots of like Air China flights and whatnot. If you're in Netherlands, you'll get lots of KLMs. Here you have Delta. Is that Cathay Pacific? Yes, it is. Lufthansa. But it's just a lot more believable, right? Instead of seeing that generic livery. Here, it looks pretty good. Granted, I've heard there are some bugs still. It's the first release. But for me so far, it's good. So we'll see. We'll see it together. And it's pretty cheap. I think it's like, what, 12, 13 euros? It's 1.2 or 1.3. American Airlines. So yes, there's even a China Airlines in there. Cool. Whoa. Is there someone starting their engine? Oh, there's actually someone taxiing. Now, granted, guys, this is still default MSFS. So if it, it's not perfect, right? The movements, the routes maybe have been improved, but the actual movement of the plane, actually it's not bad, right? It's not bad. That's not us. We are right here. Small brother. Air Canada Express. Jazz Airlines. Not too shabby. Yes, simple traffic. Yeah, AIG is a very good free plugin. I only have reservations about it because it requires so much setup. I have to download a lot of stuff and prepare a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time at the moment to devote, but I might try it at one point. If you just want a literally one-click thing, Simple Traffic is a very good alternative for it. If you want 100% accuracy and you're willing to devote the time and effort, AIG I think is perfect for that. Alright, let's go. Pretty quiet now. Okay, let's see. So I have Pilot to ATC. I'll show you. That's how it looks for those who are not familiar with it. Alright. And the first thing I do, because I have a video about this, but I'm using Amazon Poly voices. This is the equivalent of the Microsoft Azure voices. This is the neural text-to-speech voices from Amazon this time. It's linked to my Windows installation. Yeah, but sometimes you can see it doesn't work, right? That's one of the limitations using this. So I always have to try it out and then see if it works. If it doesn't, I have to restart it until it does. It takes like 2 or 3 times before that happens. Still not 100%. I see. But getting close. I have not yet tried FS Realistic. I have heard very good things about it. But yes, it's another one of those plugins that is amazing, but it requires some configuration to fine-tune. And I cannot... I'm waiting for because I believe there is an option for FS Realistic. For those who are not familiar, FS Realistic adds a lot of sounds and vibrations to the cockpit, making everything look and feel more immersive. But sometimes it can be a bit excessive. Like for example, when you land on an Airbus, you would hear like spoilers or speed brakes that are for a Boeing. So you would want to remove that. And those kinds of tweaks you would have to do on your own. But the author did mention, if I remember correctly, there's a way to like save profiles and share it with other people. So what I would want to do is just load someone else's work so I don't have to tweak them myself. But yeah, we'll see. Eventually, I will probably try it out. They also have like a 7-day free trial, this FS Realistic, so you can see if it's something you like.
This is Amazon Poly.
There we go.
US
now it
English.
works.
Matthew, standard. I will be your ATIS voice for the flight.
Good. That's a good sign. Okay. So now we can... And this one requires FSU IPC7 as well. So now we can go ahead and load in the flight plan. Just paste the entire plan here. Just remove the runways. Right? Something like that. Let's get some music in here maybe. There we go. Just to fill in the void. Import that thing. Good. Cruising at flight level 360 based on the flight plan. Let's see. ATC flight plan will be cruising at 465 knots. More or less. So let's put that in pilot to ATC as well. 465. And there are numerous options here in pilot to ATC. You can choose for it to assign SIDS and stars for you and approaches, or you can do it all on your own. It depends on you, but all of those are configurable. But yeah, it's a bit tricky. So 1 second, let's connect here. We are Jazz 8345, right? 8345, like so. Good. And then let's check that out again, that it works.
This is Amazon Polly, US English. Matthew, standard. I will be your ATIS voice for the flight.
Good. And then we are using runway 26 left. Yes. And runway 15 at the arrival. Okay, that looks consistent with pilot to ATC. Now, which approach would make sense for us? Now that would require Navigraph. You see so many apps, right? Welcome to flight simulation. It's never a straightforward thing, but that's actually the beauty of it. So here I loaded the flight plan from SimBrief. Great thing we have that kind of integration. So 26 left and then 15. We don't really follow any SIDS here. Can we? Let's see. There are these are the only departures in runway 26 left. Doesn't really, it's not very useful, is it? Yeah, so okay, let's disregard that. Now the approach here, Prince George, runway 15. So looks like we'll be going all the way till the Prince George VOR here, Yankee X-Ray Sierra 112.3. And then we'll see the approach here. Let's have a quick look. Runway 15. Okay, I see a nice line here. You see there is we start from here, this VOR, right, where my mouse is. There is this red line. That is ILS runway 15, starting from that VOR. So that looks like the perfect transition. We can have a look at the chart. We can overlay it here just to see how it looks. Alright. Yeah, that looks perfect. Starting from the Prince George VOR, we kind of make a downwind, base, and then final. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I like that. So it's the ILS 15 approach with the Yankee X-Ray Sierra transition is what we'll be looking for in pilot to ATC. So here, if you look at the approach, runway 15, ILS runway 15, and transition would be Yankee X-Ray Sierra, this one right here. Right? And that's exactly what we see in Navigraph as well. So that's how we can choose. Now, granted, pilot to ATC can change that. If the weather changes suddenly and the runway isn't fit anymore for the approach, they will change the runway and the approach for you, and they will tell you that when you're approaching the airport. So that's what I like about it. It's very dynamic. Even if you set something like this, it's not always what's going to be followed. So let's just review the flight plan here. Looks good. Looks pretty straightforward, right? There we go. Even the missed approach is documented, listed. Good. And then you have your like top of climb there based on your descent rate that you put in. Right, so let's validate. Let's file. Looking good, and that should be good. All right, that should be ready for us later. Hopefully. We'll see. Where will I place this? Okay, let me place this here, left side. Good. All right, so let's go ahead and prepare some charts here. This is what I love about flight simulation. So many different preparations, so many things you prepare, but they are very, I don't know, I actually like it. I like that approach. So we choose that, we show the chart, we bookmark it. All these preps, instrument flying, that's the fun in it. Sometimes you're in the mood for hand flying, just flying visually, but oftentimes I'm also a huge fan of the instrument flights because it's about procedures. Not so much about reflexes, right? I have such bad reflexes. But when it comes to following procedures, knowing the rules, it's something I enjoy. And reading charts like this. So that's where we are coming from, right? That's the... What stand is that? I think there's a different chart for it for the parking slots. But we'll be making our way towards 26 left. So it's going to be most likely an Echo Delta 7 taxi. We'll see. But yes, we'll be working with ATC. So we'll be taking note of the ATIS, of the taxi instructions, and all that stuff as well. Okay, so let's put that here on the left. Second, huh? Okay, good. Let me also put this one on the left. All of these on the left so we can make way here. Oh, and no, wait, 1 second. Because I'm using still the same checklist I have. So this is linked in the mods list, ! mods. Look under CRJ. Actually, let me show you so it's easy. So if you look at the link in the ! mods command, you'll see this kind of thing. Go to the FS 2020 tab. And if you look under CRJ 550 or 700, you see this link to the streamline checklist in here. Like so. That leads you to this point. And this is what I use. This is applicable for any of the CRJ variants. And this is not like 100% realistic, but this is 100% working, I would say. So this is more than enough to have a full and immersive flight. So I'll be using this checklist for myself. Okay, looks good. Let's get started finally. What time is it? 30 minutes in and we're already getting started. Not bad. Okay, let's see. AFB, let's make sure that we are starting in cold and dark. Let's go ahead and... Do you guys like music still? Or should we start listening to the actual plane sounds maybe? That might be more immersive. So let's go ahead and attach the GPU there. Let's open the doors. Looking good. Let's have a look outside. There it is. That actually looks very good. Let's take a photo there. That looks like a thumbnail shot to me. Everybody prepared? And then I have this pushback helper mod here so that I can easily enable the tug, the luggage. It looks like this. If you look at the upper left of the screen, it's a separate app, right? I put this on my other monitor. So if I want to like load the luggage, I just press this and they start moving. If I want the catering, then they go. Sometimes they collide with the plane. And if I want the tug later, I just press this. So it's very helpful. Put that there. Where's the checklist again? It's in, so if you type ! mods in chat and then open that file, go to the FS 2020 tab and look for the CRJ item in there. And then under the comments, you'll see the link to the streamline checklist. Or I can actually make it a lot easier for you. Let me just paste that there. That should work. There you go. It also has a checklist. That same file has a checklist also for the DC-6 and for celestial navigation. Yeah, so things are loading up now. Looking good. Let's keep it here. Alright, we have chocks in place. Alright, looking good. Let's have a look up there. So we'll need to turn on the battery. AC power is available because we connected the GPU. So let's turn that on. Nav lights to on to signal that we have GPU power. We have powered up plane. Hydraulics 3A will on. And let's turn on the lights here just for nice lighting inside the cab. We'll also start tuning the IRS over here, lower left, these two. This will take a few minutes. Let's also add the lights in here. Looking good. And also on this side. I like those integral lights. Here's some chatter as well, because I'm currently tuned into the Unicom. So pilot to ATC is linked with the ATC chatter, a separate plugin. So depending on where you are, we're in Canada, depending on what frequency you're tuned in, we're in Unicom, you'll hear appropriate chatter in the background, just a bit more for the immersion. There you go. All right. Looking good. So you can see things are still black here because the IRS is not yet aligned. IRS is a very nice, how do you say, solution, technology, piece of technology. Are you guys familiar what an IRS is? Inertial Reference System or something. It's it kind of makes all sense why we do this now. So we plug in the what do they call this again? FMS or FMC, one of those. Depends on what plane it is. So we start with a pause in it, right? Where we basically say, where are we? Right? So we are in Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo. And then what we're doing is basically we have GPS here in this plane, 1 and 2. It gives us the coordinates of where we are. We just copy that and paste it here. This position here is, as I understand, the starting point for the IRS, the Inertial Reference System. Because what that system is for is like a backup for the GPS. If your GPS goes out, then you still have the IRS. But the IRS works by starting from a position. So you tell it, okay, I start from here. And then every movement of the plane, if the plane banks to the left or moves to the right or whatever small movement it does, I guess it's, I don't know, gyro-based or something, the IRS detects it. So if it detects that the plane moves 1 kilometer to the left, then it will know that your position is no longer this one. It will know that your position is now 1 kilometer to the left, right? So basically, if you think of it that way, starting from a position, if it knows to track every single movement, then it will know exactly where you are in the globe. Right? That's the way the IRS works. But you need to align it first, and you need to set a starting position. So it's a very nice piece of technology, and I actually want. So you can see at the back, the IRS has been aligned now. I think I have it set to quick alignment. But the cool thing here as well is I believe, so what we did a while ago was we copied, right? We copied from the GPS coordinates. There is actually an alternative I saw. If the plane doesn't have GPS, but it has IRS, how's your starting point going to be? Let's see if this airport has it. Parking positions, look at this one. Yeah, look at this. So we're starting off somewhere here, right? Maybe stand 15, more or less. Let's see. Let's put that in as well. And let's compare. So we're there at that junction. Can we see it outside maybe? I'm not so sure. But yeah, looks like we're in stand 16. Look at this one. Position 14 through 16, you actually have coordinates here. So you can plug this in manually, even if you don't have GPS, right? That's the way you can start off. So you don't need GPS for IRS to work. You just need to know where you are starting off. Hey, Fronten. How are you doing? Yes, everything is fine. Hey, Hall. Thanks for joining. Volanta. Yes, amazing app. I'm not using it at the moment. But yes, I should really get used to including that in my workflow. So let's compare this coordinate right here. I'll put this on my other screen and let's compare what the GPS gave us. Let's see. So north 49, 11, 5. Yes, here it's 51. That's close enough. West 1, 2, 3. And then 10, 93. It's only the last decimal points, the what's it is 100 notes the decimal point that goes away, but it's exact with what the chart is telling us. This number right here, this one, 4911.5 west 123 10.9 minutes. Is that minutes? Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's interesting. So it matches. Okay, so that looks good. All right, let's go and plug this in. So Charlie Yankee Victor Romeo to Charlie Yankee X-ray Sierra, and let me have the little the SimBrief page opened in my other monitor here. Really helps if you have multiple monitors in Flight Sim because of all the windows you need. Okay, that looks good. Let's go to flight plan, departure rather. We'll be choosing departure runway 26 left. We won't follow any SIDs, so that's okay. Go back to the flight plan. So runway 26 left is starting point, and using the SimBrief route here, I'm just going to copy these. All right. So we're going direct to GARRE, and then direct to, is that SEATN? Echo Alpha Tango November, and then we'll be joining the Juliet 534 airway all the way until Yankee Whiskey Lima VOR, and then we'll be going direct to Prince George, was it? Yankee X-ray Sierra. There you go. And that's the route. And then afterwards, we will be joining the ILS-15 with the Yankee X-ray Sierra transition. That looks okay. Now let's review it in the legs page. Make sure there's no discontinuity. Here we have one. Normally there is when that signals the start of the approach, but depending on the flight plan, you can kind of just override that. Copy it over, connect the two Y-axes together. Right, so let's review that. Let's go to the MFD Advance and let's review here. Let's go to plan mode over here. Yes, and let's go and check out next waypoint. Okay, going to the north here, and then let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, exactly, right? What we saw in Navigraph. Starting from that VOR, it's like the downwind leg, and then the base leg, and then the final. Looking good right there. Okay, so the plan for the plane looks exactly what we have envisioned. Looks good. All right, so the flight plan looks okay. And now we will be doing the performance in it. And for this one, we need the AFB. So let's move here to the left again. Go to the performance in here. Now I'll be copying the stats from SimBrief. So if I load in SimBrief, I'm just going to copy this one. The zero fuel weight is 69748. The fuel, I'm just going to copy 1:1, 10,064. So I'll plug those in to these guys here. So it says 69748. Don't forget to press enter. That adjusts there. And the fuel is 10,064. There you go. So a bit heavier. Also, if you look at the block fuel 10,064, it's actually composed of a lot of different parameters, right? The trip itself is only needing 4,200 pounds. We need an additional 15 minutes continuous, so like a buffer, right? So that's a 992. And we have an alternate. So if we need to go to the alternate Charlie Yankee X-ray Juliet, we need an additional 2,600 pounds for that. And then we have final reserve of 1,700. So we have like a minimum here, and then we have taxi, and that all amounts to 10,000 right there. Pretty nice. And then this is nice. This is new. FMC info. FinRes plus alternate, they actually sum it up for you already, because there are some FMCs when you're plugging in these things, you need to add like how much you have for reserve. So here it's basically you add the FinRes and the alternate, and they already add that for you. Well, that's pretty cool. Haven't seen that before. Okay, that's good. All right, so that looks good. And here, the tricky thing in the CRJ is we have set the weights, but this is not yet applied. We have to set payload in simulator. Once I click this, the plane will get heavy. You'll see it change. There, right? The weight's a bit changed. But that's not enough. You have to click it one more time so that the CG gets calculated correctly. There you go. So just click it as many times as possible to be on the safe side. And then we can copy the performance init data to the FMS. And also set the V-speeds. So it calculates the V-speeds for us. Flaps 8, dry runway, all these V-speeds. V1, 148, rotate. V2, 158. Okay, looks good. Set all. That sets the V-speeds to that side right there. So we don't have to manually do that, because normally you would need to do this, use this knob here on the left side to apply all of those speeds. Right? So that looks good. And now here you can see that the weights have been filled out based on the AFB. That's just another time saver. And the only thing left is to fill in the cruise level, flight level 360, right there. Good. All right. Let's double check the VNAV setup. Transition altitude is 18,000 because we're in Canada. Cruise altitude is flight level 360. Target speed is Mach 0.74. Indeed. And then the transition flight level when we're descending is also 180. That differs per country, but in Canada and in the US it's always 18,000, 180. And 3-degree descent. Looks good. Okay. Flex temp, let's not use that because I'm not sure what the flex temp should be here in the CRJ 900. Let's just go full toga later. When we are going to take off, we'll apply full power without any derating of the engine. Alright, that looks good. Let me get back to the checklist. I hope I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think we're good. Yes, alright. So let's go up again. Now we can go ahead and turn our hydraulics, the other ones, to auto. We need to set the airport elevation, just in case we need to turn around. We need to set that the landing elevation here to the current airport elevation, which is in Vancouver. It should be almost sea level, I think, right? Yes, 13 feet, so maybe just one notch. That should actually put the landing elevation to 20 right there. Looks good. What's up next? I'm just basically flowing here. So flowing from here to here, right? That way. So we set up the hydraulics, set up the cabin pressure. We set off the windshield heat, I believe, to low right now. Is that right? Yes, and then they turn on the no smoking, seatbelt signs, and arm the emergency lights. So that flow is complete right there. Good. With that, we move to the center panel here and engage the stab trim, these two things, the Mach trim, and now because the IRS is aligned as indicated by the PFD lighting up like that, we can turn on the yaw damper as well. Good. Looks good. Alright, so now we can go ahead and close the doors. Everyone should have been loaded by now.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us. Before takeoff, we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
Nice. Okay. Let's go and position ourselves here. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Simple traffic for the win. Is that the United? On final? Looks like it, huh? Pretty cool. Alright. So let's position ourselves here. Whoa. What the heck is that guy doing? I think he went around. Okay, let's position ourselves here because once we start the APU, this vent here will open, this one with the red, and we should hear it starting up here. So let's position ourselves maybe that way. Alright, and let's start the APU. That would be this one and that one. And we can see the indication there. You can see the APU door is open and now APU is starting up over here. So let's go outside, see the vent opening. You can start hearing some things pulling up. That's the APU. I think we should actually see like heat things here. I'm not sure why we don't. Hello? Whoa. Yeah, I think that's like a common problem when you use AI traffic, offline traffic. You have lots of those planes buzzing very low. Yeah, that's a huge vent, isn't it? I wonder if that also opens like that when you're airborne, because that seems like a huge drag, like speed brakes even. So you can see the APU is now 100%, EGT is okay, right? Stable at 472. And what we can actually do is go to electric page here. You can see that the APU is generating AC power. You can see the green lines there, right? If you is it too far out? Yeah, so the Gen 1 and Gen 2 is from the engine, not there yet, but APU is generating AC power now, providing power, electricity to the bus. Essential bus to the, what's service bus? That looks good. So that is providing power, and if we click this one more time, we should see DC power as well. Should be working, right? Looking good there, I believe. Okay. So that looks good. So we've confirmed that APU is available and is providing electricity. So that means we should be able to turn on now the air conditioning, because even if we had the GPU, the ground power unit, it doesn't provide air conditioning. So only the APU does that. So now we should hear the air conditioning starting up. There it is. You hear it? Beautiful. There we go. Okay, good. Now it's getting colder. Actually, what are the temperatures right now? Let's have a quick look. It's currently 7 degrees. So maybe we need to heat it up rather than cool it down. 7 degrees outside. Okay. So let's go ahead, remove the GPU. If we did this right, then we shouldn't hear the plane powering off like... So let's see. Okay. So far, so good. Let's remove the chocks. Alright, all good. Okay. We're getting ready bit by bit. Let's go ahead and check the weather. So now I will tune into the ATIS frequency. What's the frequency? Well, let's see. D8 is 124.6. So let's plug that in here. 1246. I think they also improved the way you put in frequencies here. You don't need the full 0 anymore. I think they just improved it in general. And then I will go ahead and keep note of it, okay? So I'll tune it in and then I'll keep note of what they say, the ATIS.
Vancouver International Information Delta. Winds are 273 at 13 knots gusting to 10 knots. Visibility unrestricted. 2,500 few clouds. Temperature 7, dew point 4. Current altimeter is 3039er. Arriving and departing runway 26 right, 26 left.
Good.
Vancouver International
You have
Information
Delta.
Delta. Winds are 273 at 13 knots gusting to 10 knots.
So let's go and move to clearance delivery, 121.4. Let's go ahead and request for IFR clearance. Let's see if they can understand me. Let me try and talk this myself. Jazz 8345, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Jazz 8345 is cleared to Charlie Yankee X-Ray Sierra is filed. Expect departure runway 26 left. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Departure on 126.12. Squawk 3512.
Okay, let's let Joanna read that back. It's too long.
Jazz 8345 is cleared to Charlie Yankee X-Ray Sierra as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Departure on 126.12 squawk 3512.
Looks good.
Jazz 8345 read back correct. Altimeter 3039er contact ground on 121.7 when ready for pushback. Enjoy your afternoon.
Altimeter 3039er ground on 121.7 Jazz 8345.
Alright, looks good. Let's tune into ground and let's plug those values in first. Right? So we want 3039er on the altimeter. And we'll compare that that's the correct. It's a very high pressure day. Should be nice weather, huh? 3039er, exactly. You can see we're almost at sea level here. That's perfect. We've also put that in here in the standby. 3039er. And then we also put that here on the other side. 3039er. What other information did we get from the clearance? Let's all plug that in. The departure is indeed runway 26 left for takeoff, right? And then I'm using, so if it's 26 left, then it's going to be 263 degree heading. So I'll plug that in now too. So let's go ahead and plug that in, 263. It's a bit hard to see. I'm moving the heading knob here and looking at the heading indicator there in the lower left. 263. Getting there. 26. Maybe I should have gone the other way, huh? Okay, there we go. 263. Looks good. What else should we plug in? 4,000 is our initial altitude clearance. So let's put in 4,000. My goodness, that glare is not helping. Let's look on this side instead. 4,000. So now I'm looking there on that magenta altitude selector. Is the wrong one? Here. 4,000. Expect higher clearance 2 minutes. Okay. Departure is 126.12. We'll switch to there later. Let's put that here in the standby. 126.125 probably. There you go. And then we're squawking 3512. Now, pilot to ATC doesn't recognize if you put that there. You have to change it over here. 3512 rather. 3512. And then let's turn that on already so I don't forget. There you go. Okay, looks good. Hey, Espen. Oh, yes, how's the move going? Oh yes, looking forward to it. So many new planes. So many new goodies. Hope the move went well for you. How's Norway treating you? Have you had all your goods already moved? Alright, we are set. We can now request for pushback and engine start. I'm not sure if they do that in Canada actually, but we'll play it safe. So if we look at the chart, we should be going to 26 left, so we should be facing to the right, right? So we should be pushing back to our left. Okay, let's do that. So what I'll do is this plug-in, right? I'll press the tug. So he'll come in, but he won't push me yet. He'll just attach himself. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and refer to the checklist. Make sure I'm not missing anything. ADG, doing good, man, doing good. Thank you for joining. Thank you for 7 months, Espen. Appreciate that. GG. Alright, let's see. Yeah, everything looks good. The only thing I'm missing are beacons. Let's not forget that. Beacons to signal that the plane, to signal everyone outside that the plane is about to get moving. So if there's ground crew here, they'll see clearly that the red light comes up, so they'll know that they have to clear the area now because the plane is about to move. The plane is about to start its engines even. Good, so let's go and request that. Let's see. Jazz 8345, ready for pushback and engine start. I don't think they got that, so let's just have Joanna read that for them.
Jazz 8345 ready for pushback and engine start.
Arrived safely, good to hear.
8345 pushback and engine start approved.
There we go.
Pushback and engine start approved, Jazz 8345.
Nice, so let's release the parking brake. Let's signal to the tug. Oh, let me use my head movements here so it's a bit more organic. There we go. Let's go ahead and reverse. And let's go ahead and start the engine, turn on the fuel pumps. Start engine, the right one first. You can hear the air conditioning packs turning off automatically. It's nice. So we're facing here. So let's do that way. I'm monitoring N2. When it approaches 20%, I'll introduce fuel by putting the throttles to idle. So 20%, so just move this one, right? Like that. Goodness, that United flight is still doing that. Still buzzing the tower. Good. I can just face here. I can handle it on my own. Good. I'll take that, thank you. Let's engage the parking brake. Let's remove the tug.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as we display the safety features and procedures of the aircraft in case of an emergency. During an emergency, please remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened and your seats
Engine 2
in the
looks
upright
good.
position.
Let's go for engine 1 and let's
In
go
case of a
and
drop in cabin
listen to it
pressure, breathing
outside.
mask.
See, it's pulling up. Indeed.
In
1
case
second,
of
I
any
forgot something.
landing, you'll be instructed to get into the brace position.
Because we still have to introduce fuel here. 20% into. There we go. Now we can watch. We might get sucked in here. Yeah, that guy's still buzzing the tower. I wonder where he's going. Now the workaround there, guys, if you encounter this bug of the AI planes, because this is happening with the default offline traffic, the advice is to turn off traffic and then turn it on again. That's one way it could work. You guys want to try that? Let's try it. Hopefully it will not jeopardize the rest of the trip. But yes, what we can do is go to General, Traffic, right? Let's turn that off. And then go back to AI offline. And now, I think it should have reset and removed that rogue plane. I think that's how you do it. Let's see if that worked. Okay, but yes, we're good. It's loading up the other planes too. Man, these are beautiful. That's one of the known bugs. You see the livery is changing. I think in AI offline it happens from time to time. Kind of it can't decide what it wants to be. Alright, let's have a look. We have... Alright, let's go and check this out. Go to elect page. You can see now this is different, right? APU is still on, still green. But in terms of power, it's generator 1 and 2 from the engine that is producing and supplying the AC power. So we don't need the APU anymore actually. That means we can turn this off and close it when it's good. Right? And then we can turn on the probes. That should work very well like so. Good. Oi, 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 don't push back. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Wait. Oh my goodness. Yeah, everyone's pushing back. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's hope that they're not going my way. Okay. Let's go ahead and request taxi here.
Jazz 8345 ready to taxi.
Let's see what taxiway still give us.
Jazz 8345 taxi to runway 26 left via taxiways Golf, Hotel, Delta. Hold short runway 26 left.
Very interesting. Okay.
Taxi to runway 26 left via taxiways Golf, Hotel, Delta. Hold short runway 26 left. Jazz 8345.
Maybe taxiway Echo is closed, but they actually want us to be going the opposite way. Golf this way, Hotel, and then Delta. So looks like we'll have to make a U-turn here. Fine. Okay. Like, what are these planes doing? Are they just... Is this guy just doing a 360 now? Yeah, simple traffic is changing liveries and adding routes, but it does not change. Let's turn on our taxi lights here. It does not change the behavior of the default planes. So all the clunkiness from the default AI is still there actually. Pilot to ATC upgraded the voices. I actually have it different. I'm using Amazon Poly for them, so it's a bit customized. But yes, it is a lot better than the default Windows voices. I have a video where I show, give an overview of what the pitfalls are for that, but yeah, highly recommend it. It's free so far. I guess I'll have to pay something at some point, but so far I haven't paid anything. Alright, let's see. I know I'm missing some stuff here. Oh, actually I should have turned on the nose wheel steering. Maybe I shouldn't have been able to steer without that on, right? Maybe that's not modeled in. Okay, let's go and set our flaps for takeoff. Flaps to 8 for takeoff. You can see that moving there, indicating. So that's 1. And then one more, flaps 8. There we go. So that's flaps for takeoff. And then we'll check our flight controls. So this is Golf right here. I love the taxi, the feel, the ground handling of this plane. Just feels so heavy. Actually not that heavy, but it really feels like an airliner. It's not like we're going all around the place. Alright, let's go and check that out by going to the flight control tab here. And then I'll go and check my controls. So I'll push forward, push back. I'll see the flight controls changing left and right. Yeah, that looks good. And then the rudder left and right also looks good. While we're here, let's also set the stab trim. Based on the calculations, takeoff trim is 6.7 right there. So we'll set the stab trim here to 6.7 by trimming the plane. 6.7, there we go, that's for takeoff. Looks good. And let's go back to stat right here. Good. Alright, we can afford to speed up a bit. And let's arm the reversers, just in case I would need to do a rejected takeoff, so we can slow down as soon as possible. I think this is Delta. Yes, this should be Delta. Taxiway Delta over here. Hey geezer, thanks for following. Welcome to the channel. Alright, so this is Delta. Let me show you where we are in the chart. That's where we are. So this is going to be straight all the way until it turns to the right. Looks good. What else am I missing? I think we're mostly good. Maybe something I can help improve. Cross flow to manual. What else? I think we're good there. Yes. TCAS is set. Yes. Later on I'll turn on my strobes when we are about to enter the runway, and then I'll turn on my landing lights when we've been given clearance to take off. Here, a nice little thing I look at is these indicators. I look for the 3 green, 3 white, just to give myself an indication that I am okay. I've configured as much as I can configure for takeoff. And this one we can actually power off in the meantime, so we can focus outside. Looks good. Now what I expect is we're going to be given clearance for takeoff, and we'll be given instructions to turn to the right, most likely. Turn to the right a certain degree for steering. Why is there a vehicle right in front of me? Oh my goodness. But we'll be asked to turn right at a certain altitude, so I'll take note of that later. We'll be given those instructions when we're given the takeoff clearance. That's part of pilot to ATC, and that's what I like about it. Let's hope that he isn't get hit by the wing. Oh look, I actually see someone. On TCAS there. 030. Maybe they're still on the ground, I'm not sure. Looks good. Alright, where are we now? Let me load up Navigraph here. Okay, so the takeoff will do something like this. Go something like this. We will line up on the runway, right? Around 50% throttle. Check that the temperatures are stable, then we'll push toga. I'll apply a bit of forward pressure on the yoke just to keep all the tires on the ground. Build up some speed. Check that the speeds are building up. Look at the windsock, perfect for our departure runway. And then once we get to V1, I'll remove my hand from the throttle, put it on the yoke, rotate, pull back on the yoke, 10-degree pitch up, and then after we've lifted it off, positive rate, gear up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
At the advised altitude, we'll turn right. I'll turn on heading mode. 8345, contact tower on 118.7. Have a good afternoon. 118.7. Tower on 118.7, Jazz 8345.
Looking good. And then we'll, at 200 knots, I'll bring my flaps up. I'll go to speed mode, move it to 250 knots, and then we'll see if I need to turn on autopilot at some point so that we can go sightseeing outside. Alright, let's go ahead and request for takeoff here. So what you can do with pilot to ATC is you can either go push to talk, you can assign a key there, and then you can talk yourself. Although sometimes they have trouble understanding me. Oh, look at that, we're actually given flight level 370 here. Probably because of this direction, huh? The east. Okay, but yes, so you can choose takeoff right here. Put that and then say it, so they say it for you.
Tower Jazz 8345 ready for departure, runway 26 left.
Jazz 8345, winds are 273 at 13 knots, cleared for takeoff. Runway 26 left, squawk 3512, maintain runway heading until above 1,000 feet, then turn right
1,000.
heading 047 to intercept course.
047, okay.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 26 left,
Mark
squawking
that already.
3512, maintain runway heading until above 1,000 feet, then right to 047, Jazz 8345.
So we climb until 1,000 feet, then we turn right to 047 heading. Okay, looks good. Let's do this. Turn on our strobes. We've been given clearance, so let's turn on our landing lights. Let's turn on the weather radar as well, which is not really functioning at the moment, but we can roleplay, why not? There we go. Runway is clear on the left. Clear on the... There is someone there actually. Yikes. No, maybe I just mistook it. Okay, runway 26 is actually... Maybe I should have been there, starting point. Let's hope that this is long enough. How long? 10,000 feet? Oh, we should be more than enough for us. Good, let's line up. Yeah, I should have been there. Maximize the runway length. Looking good. Line up on the runway. Okay. That's good enough. We should have pretty nice headwinds in here. Right. Hold the brakes. 50%. Push a little bit on the yoke. Temps are stable. Push toga. And don't forget takeoff go around mode. There you go. Clicking that screw next to course 1. There is a plane right in front of me. Airspeed's alive. .100 knots. Oh, there we go. V1, rotate. 10 degrees pitch up. Actually, that's increasing. It's almost 20 degrees. Okay, positive rate, gear up. We're looking for 1,000 feet here. Looking good. Let's go to climb detent. Let's go to speed mode. There's 1,000 feet. Let's go to heading mode. Let's go for 250 knots.
Jazz 8345, climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Contact Vancouver, departure on 126.12. Enjoy your afternoon.
Flaps going up. Look at those mountains, guys.
Climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Departure on 126.12 Jazz 8345.
Man, this is looking great. I'm still hand flying it. But I need to go to autopilot because there's so much to be done. Autopilot engaged. Look at that beauty below. Let's switch to departure frequency and report in. There's a plane right below there. Report, check in, climbing to flight
Jazz
130.
8345 climbing to 13,000 feet. Jazz 8345, good afternoon. Radar contact. Jazz 8345, you have traffic at 3 o'clock 3 miles at 1,200 feet. Jazz 8345, you have traffic at 3 o'clock 6 miles at 2,200 feet. Jazz 8345, you have traffic at 3 o'clock 7 miles at 3,000 feet.
So many. Yes. Traffic response, traffic in sight.
Traffic in sight, Jazz 8345.
Looks good, guys. We can remove disarm the reversers now. And remove this one. Hey Chris, how's it going? Just made it just in time. Actually forgot to take part 2 of this flight. So we might be doing this in one part. We'll see. Man, look at those mountains. Okay, we're going out, guys, okay? We're going out. Oh, 1 second. Let's go to nav mode in here. There we go. So that it joins the flight plan on its own. And we're going out, so it's going to get a bit noisy. Bear with me. But that is Vancouver. Hello, Vancouver. Look at how sharp that climb is. My goodness. Whew. Look at those buildings below. There's the port of Vancouver. Hey, Bones. There are even some ships. And look at those mountains in the distance. Oh my goodness. This is the beauty of flying an airliner. Let's have a peek inside. Are we good? Yes, 250 knots, and now you can see we've crossed 10,000 feet, so we can actually turn off our landing lights. We can remove the seatbelt signs. We're a bit stable here. And more importantly, we can move to 290 knots. You guys remember the 250 to 90 Mach 0.74 climb profile? That's what we're doing. So 250 knots below 10,000, 290 knots above 10,000. So we can now accelerate to 290 knots. And then we switch to Mach 0.74 when we see that our Mach speed right here, sorry, there we go, goes to Mach 0.74. We'll switch to Mach speeds. That's around flight level, I don't know, 300 probably. Turn this off, we don't need it at the moment. Look at that view. There is actually a nice view here. One second, let me see if I can load it up.
Jazz 8345, climb and maintain flight level 210. Climb and maintain flight level 210, Jazz 8345.
So that the climb doesn't
Jazz
stop.
8345, contact Vancouver Center on 125.905. Have a nice day.
125.905.
Center on 125.905. Take care, Jazz 8345.
Not bad for 33 million. Is that the plane? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Alright, let's check in. It's a bit
Jazz
bumpy.
8345, climbing to flight level 210. Jazz
Or the new one.
8345, good
Goodness.
afternoon. Radar contact.
Good. Climbing is going well so far. Keeping my fingers crossed. We'll see. 1 second. Let's see. I think it's showcase. And then fixed camera 7, was it? There it is. That's my favorite shot right there. Ah. Goodness. This is not real time. I think it's like 2 hours shifted earlier than real time. You can actually see the wing flexing a bit there. Moving with the winds. Looking good, looking good. Reaching flight level 180 soon, you can see. So now we are getting that blinking thing because we've crossed 18,000 feet our transition altitude, so we need to move to standard altimeter 29902. We'll do that on all three, so move to standard on here and over here as well. There you go. Looking good. Still at 290 knots. Mach 0.6 now. Mach 0.74, remember, we'll switch to Mach speeds for the climb. Man, look at that valley right there. And it's pretty much snowing over here, huh? Very nice. Goodness. Let's have a look outside. Maybe a top view. But 1 second, I think we'll be given further clearance now because we're close to flight level 210 here. Let's wait for it.
Jazz
There we go.
8345, climb and maintain flight level 290.
290.
Climb and maintain flight level 290, Jazz 8345.
290. That's the one. 290. Good. It's a bit bumpy. Must be from the mountains below. I don't know. Looks good so far. What we can do as well is we can take note of the different things here. We can turn on MFD menu, turn that on. So it's actually going to be a short flight, only 30 minutes left to what's Prince George, right, where we're going, if that is accurate. So it's going to be a very short flight. Let's zoom out here. Top of descent is going to be there. Okay, no problem there. Looking good. Mach 0.67. Okay, looks good, looks good. Let's go outside and go for some sightseeing. Rime winter mode, I know, right? Look at those mountains. Let's go to free camera. Goodness. This is exactly what I was hoping for flying here. The plane does look a bit unstable, doesn't it? A bit windy outside. You can even hear it. There's an update to the winter mod.
Jazz 8345, climb and
Let's check it out.
Flight level 290.
Yeah, we are trying.
Climb and maintain flight level 290, Jazz.
I think we encountered some
8345.
bumps along the way. I am in the climb detent now, right? Yes, okay. That's one thing I didn't brief properly. From takeoff thrust going to climb detent after we've taken off and are a bit more stable. But yes, I did that nonetheless. Uploaded it to 142. That's great to hear. It's ready for 142. Okay, let's have a look. Navigraph. Yep, we're done with this airport. Where are we now?
Jazz
So we are.
8345, expedite climb to flight level 290. Expedite climb to flight level 290, Jazz 8345.
They're complaining because normally pilot ATCs, when pilot ATC sees that your climb rate goes below a certain level, they kind of nudge you along. Okay, we just crossed CARRE here. What I wanted to check was the flight log, because in the flight log, GARRE, it's expecting that
345, climb and maintain flight level 370.
370, okay.
Climb and maintain flight level 370, Jazz 8345.
Oh, and look, now we are in that range. Mach 0.74, so I switch to Mach speed, and now you can see the climb. Instead of 290, it's now going to follow Mach 0.74. Perfect. That's the 250, 290, 74 climb gradient. Good. So what I was going to show was GARRE here. There is an estimated fuel on board. 7.8, that's 7,800 pounds. Let's have a look how close we are to there. Actually, we are pretty far away from that. 8,200 left instead of 7,800. Which is good, I guess, right? So maybe the performance isn't completely synced up. Goodness, it's still bumpy. Shoo. Okay, let's have a look here. 1 second. Progress should be equivalent to that one. Yeah, looks good. I think we're okay here. What I'm not sure is because if I look at VNav here, our cruising altitude is actually 360, what I plugged in. But pilot ATC wants us to go 370. I'm not sure because I tried changing this before and it kind of ruined the VNav, all the other calculations afterwards, the top of descent and everything. So I don't want to touch it anymore. We'll see. Goodness, it's bumpy. Ay. Okay, something else I missed. Taxi lights are still on. Let me double check the checklist. Let's see. Climb, yes. Taxi lights, seat belts off. Landing lights, speed bug, yes, speed bug. Landing elevation later, that's for descent. Okay, for descent we'll set that up. Once we're on cruise, we'll go there. Okay. Little mistake, fall the plane from the sky. Hopefully not. We'll see. But yes, so far everything looks good. No warnings, no red lights.
Jazz 8345, climb and maintain flight level 370.
We're actually falling a bit here.
Climb and maintain flight level 370, Jazz 8345.
Yeah, looks like the autopilot is struggling a bit. Climb Mach 0.74. There we go. The autopilot is a bit better now. I think with the recent sim updates, the default autopilot is getting better. It's a bit more accurate, closing a lot more to the selected climb speeds that you choose. It's following that a lot better. So that's good. I noticed a lot more accuracy versus in previous sim updates. Let's turn on the seatbelt signs here. Might not be the most calming ride for everybody. Yeah, we have, it's not the best. We have winds coming from our front, our left side. 80 knots winds. So even though we are traveling at 426 knots through airspeed, our ground speed is only 370. So the wind is kind of pushing against us, is slowing us down. But it's okay. We'll get there anyway. Good. Let me see. What was I trying to do? Oh yeah, flight level 360. I won't change this anymore.
Jazz 8345 expedite climb to flight level 370.
Look at that, we're actually descending. Plane is struggling a bit with the winds.
Expedite climb to flight level 370, Jazz 8345.
Ooh, it's a bit bumpy. Let's see. Progress. Next page. We have 57 knots of headwind. Negative 55 degrees outside. To be expected at this altitude. Position accuracy 0.06. GPS is pretty accurate. Good. Alright. Phew. Goodness. Come on. Get it stable. Let's have a look at the other views. So we have showcase.
Jazz 8345 climb to flight level 370. Climb and maintain flight level 370, Jazz 8345. Jazz 8345 contact Vancouver Center on 13480. Have a good afternoon.
I didn't hear.
Center on 134.0, Jazz
Okay.
8345.
Thankfully, Joanna captured it. 134.0. There we go. Let's go and report in.
Jazz 8345 climbing to flight level 370.
Jazz 8345, good afternoon. Radar contact. Jazz 8345, expedite climb to flight level 370.
I know, I'm trying.
Expedite climb to flight level 370, Jazz 8345.
Come on, you can do it. And yeah, these are the types of flights I like, where you spend the minimal time at cruise. You kind of like, it's like a triangle, right? You climb, you stay very short in cruise, and then you descend. So there's minimal downtime. It's always something happening. Second, okay, looks good. Alright, we're almost at cruising altitude, guys. So what we can do is I can actually bring this up like so. Right? This is something that's very useful. Because now that we are at cruising altitude, you can see altitude is captured. Altitude selected is captured. Once we're at flight level 370, I have to pull back on the throttle, because otherwise we'll be speeding. We'll be going way forward in the speed department, and we might overspeed, and we don't want to consume unnecessary fuel. So we'll see how it works. Oi, why are we descending? Hey, thank you for following. 8-itch. Okay, 370. And if you notice here, the speeds will start climbing up. Mach 0.74 is what we're targeting. But if we don't do anything, we're still in climb detent here. The speeds are going to crawl ever so slightly, bit by bit, towards that red speed tape, the overspeed range, which we don't want. So I'm going to pull back. You can see the N1 here will go lower. 1 second. There we go. And normally it kind of likes to play well around 85 N1, but it really depends on the weather. So that's where the trial and error is going to take place. So if we're still speeding up, I pull back. If we're slowing down, then I push forward. But more or less, that's the idea. Okay, let's leave it there and see if that works. As long as we're far away from that over speed line, I'm good. I'm happy. I'll move this to the other screen, and we'll see how it goes. That's also something I like. I think they fixed that a couple of updates ago. You can have those external pop-ups now, right? Pop-ups of the instruments. Put it in your other screen, and it doesn't really slow the simulator down. Before, it used to like cut the FPS in half or something. It was very detrimental to the performance back then. Nowadays, not so much. Look at that. Top of descent is like, what, 80? 100 miles away. Pretty close. You can see there, that's the 80 range, that's the top of descent. If you look at MFD menu, go to VNav, it should say, it says 188 here. I'm not so sure if that's true. That one is a bit questionable. The calculations there are not always up to speed. Let's not consider that. Just go with that one. 20 minutes ETA. Yes, we're looking good here. Okay, I think we can remove the seatbelt signs again. Looks good to me. Yeah, pretty snowy these days. But very good weather. Very good weather. No clouds in sight except there, far in the horizon. Also some there. Over there too. But here, where we are, smooth as silk. Now I don't see any planes at the moment. Let's see. What we can actually do, pilot to ATC here as an option to display airborne traffic. Sometimes we can see them, but yeah, it looks like right now there is nothing in here. Maybe this route is not very famous. Normally we would see red planes here in the map. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and start planning for descent because we're getting close. Let's go see. Airport elevation, Prince George is 2,000 feet. We're currently at 37,000, so we need to lose 35,000 feet, right? More or less. So 35,000 times 3, 35, 70, 105 nautical miles is around a good like rule of thumb that altitude to lose times 3, so 105 miles. That should be around where we start our descent. Just a good marker. So what we can do is put in the X-ray Sierra, was it? Yes. So that's the airport reference, and when we are 105 miles away from it, we should see a radial, what's it called? The circle distance. 105 miles. There we go. So you can see 105 miles away from the airport, it drew a circle. That's the point, and our top of descent is somewhere along those lines. So that's not too bad. I can take that. So at least we have another visual on around when we should start descending. We're not totally blind and dependent on ATC. That being said, ATC should take care of telling us when to descend. So we'll wait for them, but we have some fallbacks as well in case they kind of forget about us. Okay, and let's go ahead and look at the approach here. So that's the airport. Runway 15 is what we'll be taking. Let me double check the weather. They're in St. George. Yeah, still looks like it. You can see the winds are coming from the south, indicated by that line, right? Still no clouds there. It's still green. And you can show information. You can see that details here. 163 at 5 knots the wind. That indeed is coming from the south, southeast. -4 temperature, a lot colder here. Pressure is 3026. Okay. Altimeter 3026 right there. Not bad. And we can get behind that. Alright, and this is the VOR that we're stopping by, remember?
Jazz 8345, expect the ILS approach to runway 15 with the CYXS transition at Prince George.
Yeah, exactly what we're expecting. Nice.
Expect the ILS approach
So they
to
didn't change it. The weather's still the same.
CYXS transition Jazz 8345.
But yeah, this is what I like about pilot to ATC. Like what you would hear in a real flight. Pilot to ATC has it almost modeled pretty closely. So I really like that. It's very close to how real flights would have it. Sometimes they would even give you like descent instructions, like cross this waypoint at this altitude. I'm not sure if they'll do that here, or because we're not following anything, maybe they'll just tell us to descend to a certain point because we don't have any arrival procedures. Yes, let's get back here. So we've been told to expect ILS runway 15 with the Prince George transition, Yankee X-ray Sierra, this VOR. So this is where we're starting off. This is the initial approach fix. That is actually above like some hills here, 3,000 feet hills, foothills. Okay, Prince George VOR. And then over there we'll be at what's going to be our altitude at that point? 1 second. Let me try and read this. Initial approach fix at Kinev. No, actually we'll be doing the Prince George one. Seeing 4,200 is the recommended, but at that point that's too low. Okay, I think this one is this might be indicating the safe altitudes. I'm not so sure. If I'm reading that correctly, Kinev is the reference point. Yeah, okay, this is the safe altitudes. So 30 miles from Kinev, the safe altitude is 6,900, right? So we should be minimum, our lowest should be 6,900. And then when we're 15 miles away from Kinev, this initial approach fix, we should be 5,400. Okay, that's a good reference point. And then we can only start descending here, this leg, 5,400. Right, from Prince George to Kinev, this line here, it says 5,400 right there. And then 3,700, so we continue descending all the way until that's actually interesting, 3,700. But here it recommends 4,200. But this is from a different fix. No, I'm not so sure why that is different. This is 3,700 right here, and this is 4,200. But that's only recommended, so maybe it doesn't need to be that way, because in the end of the day we'll be intercepting the glide slope. Okay, I think that works. And then our missed approach is, if we need to do a missed approach,
Jazz 8345, descend and maintain flight level 290.
okay,
Descend and maintain flight level 290 Jazz 8345.
yeah, not close enough, right? So near the top of descent, near the radial that we put in, the distance, radial distance, circle, distance something that we put in. not bad. Let's put in 290 here. 290, let's just VS our way down. Actually, let me go and check what's the ideal. So around 1,600 feet, because I'm just looking at Kinev here. Or VOS, 1,600 feet. Okay, let's use 1,600 as our descent rate. VS down 1,600, and we have to slow down as well. So let's pull back on the throttle. You can hear the engines cooling down. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, looks good. So let's continue our missed approach procedure. Excuse me. Over here, climb track 154 to Prince George NDB. The circle right here, and then climbing left turn to 7,000 feet, track 149. Okay. Intercept outbound Prince George VOR radial 170, so that line right there, so that one. So when you intercept the radial 170, then hold there. Okay, but most likely we'll be given some instructions by ATC by then, but it pays to know. So it's 7,000 feet that we have to set our altitude, if in case you ever need to go missed. Okay, that looks good, and I believe that should be plugged into the flight plan here as well. So if you look here, you should have those cyan lines for the missed approach procedure. So the autopilot should also be able to handle that on its own if it's programmed correctly. Right, the VS 1,600 feet per minute. Sounds okay, we're a bit slow. Let's get a bit of power in here. Looks good. Let's look outside, enjoy a bit of the view before it gets hectic. Beautiful outside. A bit of snow, but you can actually see pretty much the landscape still there. Contrails for the win. Very nice. Look at that view. Take a photo of that. Goodness, that is beautiful. Looking good. Starting our descent.
Jazz 8345 cleared for the ILS approach to runway 15 with the CYXS transition.
Good.
Cleared for the ILS approach to runway 15 with the CYXS transition, Jazz 8345.
That means we should be able to go and descend all the way and follow the approach. So we should be able to go... What was that? 6,900 is the safe altitude, right? While we're far away. So let's put 6,900 here and descend all the way through. There you go, 6,900. Pull back on the throttle, we're speeding up a bit. Let me also put this in here so I can see it better. Let's maybe zoom in a bit. Okay, looks good there. And over here we have, so if you look at the recommended speeds here, vertical speed 1,500. Okay, that's still good. That's still good to me. Let's keep 1,600 in there. It's going to be fine. Easy does it. What we have not done, oh crap, I forgot, is to set the landing elevation, which is supposed to be 2,266, so 2,260, let's say. So let me move this here. I have the screen on my other panel, 2,260 is what we're targeting. Thankfully it's not too late, so now we see 2,260 landing elevation, because that would depend. The cabin altitude would change. It would take care of changing the pressure so that the cabin altitude is matching as we descend. So it needs to know what the landing elevation is, so that it knows how to pace the change in that elevation. I should have done that before we started our descent. Okay, 1 second here. Mach 0.74. Actually, 290 knots descent speed. Looks good. Can afford to speed up a little. Looking good. Looking good. Pretty quiet outside, no traffic. So let's go for some sightseeing. Oh my goodness. Phew. Now we're getting into some scenery now. Man, look at that. Ay ay ay. It's like a postcard. So good. Right, let's see. Looks good here. How's our speed? A bit slow, but we're okay. How's the thing? Our descent rate, 1,600. That's okay. 10,900. Yeah, we're okay there. We are okay there. It's no real vertical constraint, I believe. Let's double check our flight plan. Go to the legs page. The only restriction is that Kinev we should be 5,400 above. 42 above. Yeah, this one is saying 42 above. Hey Rishi! How are you doing, man? Welcome back. So yes, it's saying at Vols should be 4,200 above. So this one, this 3,700 doesn't really make sense. Maybe that's what this number 1 is for. Let's see. Is there a note where we can read that? I'm not sure. Yeah. But yes, we'll follow the 4.2 instead. 4.2. Okay. Okay. But yes, at Prince George we want to be higher than that. We want to be at least 6,900. So that's what my selected altitude is set at, 6,900. Bit too fast now. Pull back. Good. Okay, looking good there. Let me see. We do have a tower frequency supposedly, but I'm not sure if the ATC will detect it. And the weather in Prince George, they haven't really given us anything, so we'll have to find it ourselves. 3026. Let me mark that here already so I don't forget. 3026. There we go. Pull it back. Just woke up. Good morning. Hey, Gamaste, good morning. Just in time, guys. About to make our descent. Our approach into Prince George in here in Canada. Bit bumpy ride, but I'm loving the views. Mountains, snow, valleys and whatnot. Scenic routes all around. I'll take it. Okay, slow down a bit more. What's our ETA? 8 minutes it says. Is that accurate? Maybe. Yeah. Not too bad. Vols 5536. Not sure I agree with that. At Vols I want to be 42. Yeah, I won't follow that because this is, if you go to the direct to page here, it kind of has like an idea of what altitudes to target for each waypoints. So here's targeting 10.9 at Prince George VOR, 7.1 at Kinev, 5.5 at Vols. But me, I want to be 4.2 at Vols, so maybe I can put that in, right? Yeah, it says 4.2 or above, but I want to be 4.2 in there already by then. So maybe I can set that up. Hopefully I don't wreck it. Let's see. Slash 4.2 at Vols. Execute. There we go. That actually worked. So if we look here, 4.2 at Vols, we need to descend at 1,200 feet. Okay, that means we are a bit fast here. Let's go and descend 1,200 feet per minute. That's our target now. I'll take that, and we're crossing 18,000 feet, so we should switch to the local altimeter, to the QNH. 3026 is the altimeter. There you go, it starts blinking. So let's go ahead and that 3026. Do the same thing on the right side. 3026. Let's have a look over here. 4,200 at Vols is 1,200 there also. Let me see. White 92, Kinev 5,400. I think we're good there. I think those are nice altitudes to be at. Double check. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. 5.4 at Kinev, 4.2 at Vols. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Good. So 5.4 at Kinev, 4.2 at Vols. That's 1,200 feet per minute. I'll take it. Thank you. Good. Zoom in a bit here so we see more stuff. Getting closer and closer. Let me actually start reducing the speed bug to 250 knots. So we have enough time to slow down. Right? Because by 10,000 feet, we should be at 250 knots or lower. So we'll try and slow down bit by bit by now. Let me see the checklist. Am I missing anything? Descent. Yes, the minimums I haven't set yet. That's what the checklist is for. The minimums, let's see here, the chart saying minimums ILS, straight in landing runway 15, full. Not sure what is high, HIALS. Not sure what that is, but let's go with this one. 200 above, that's 2432 MDA. So let's put that in 2432. What we'll do is this one, go to MDA, press this one and go in 2432. That's what's changing right here, right? 2432. Takes a while, but we'll get there. Let's go for 2440. And that's just going to be blinking at us. to indicate that we've reached the minimum descent altitude. Actually, no, this is it should be decision altitude. So we're doing a precision approach here. So that is the point at which we decide if it's if we're going to continue to land or if we're going to go around. What was it again? 2440. 2440. There you go. Okay, that looks good. And we're almost at 250 knots. That's perfect. Maybe we slow down too early. That's fine. Better safe than sorry. Looks good. Yeah, I love these instrument flights. So many things to think about. Always keeping busy, and it doesn't involve fast reflexes or whatnot. So I like it. Exercise for the brain. Turn on the seatbelt signs. Start a series. Yes. I actually did that for a time. There is an app that's called A Pilot's Life. You can search for it, Clumsy A Pilot's Life. We did that a few episodes. We didn't continue so much though. But yes, that might be a good series to start eventually. It's just that, unfortunately, Flight Sim is not very famous in the channel. As you can see here in chat, almost no activity. So not a lot of viewers, I think, not a lot of interactions. It's not the most famous sim in my channel. So I'm not sure if I can sustain that. But I would love to, if possible. Okay, let's see. 1,000 feet. Okay. I've slowed down our descent to 1,000 feet per minute. So we are descending a bit fast here. Oh, good. Looking good. Okay, let's go through the checklist. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, decision altitude has been set. We're following the altitude constraints. Speed bug is 250 knots. Okay, yes, looking good there. Okay, let's go and set the V speeds here. V2 go around, and VF. I'm actually not familiar what these speeds are for, except for the V2 go around probably. But the VREF will take care of later. Let's align the heading bug here. Let me double check that our frequency is tuned in already, 109.5. Indeed, 109.5 is the ILS frequency, and it should be a 153 degree course. So here, you see the ILS is 109.5, 153 degrees. So we follow that in. We'll double check that later once we switch our nav. Right now we're following the GPS. Later on we should see a blue line here to indicate when the ILS is alive, basically when we're starting to receive it. And then I'll switch the nav source to ILS when that time comes. It's almost time. Okay, we're a bit fast here. Let's slow down a bit, down to 250 knots at least, at most actually. Yeah, it would be nice to start a pilot's life for Microsoft Flight Simulator, because I did that before for X-Plane. It would be nice to start anew. Just not sure how much it will be received. We'll see, we'll see. That's a great idea, Rishi. Thanks for that suggestion. Right, almost reaching 10,000 feet here. Let's turn on our lights, landing lights. Slow down to 250. Indicated airspeed right there. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, there's the Prince George VOR. Those are the hills that we saw in the chart. Not very high, but something to watch out for. Right. And let me plug in 4,200 here in the altitude. 4,200 is our target. 4,200 at vols, 1,000 feet per minute. Yeah, that's exactly where we want to be at. Looks good. Sure thing, Procars. Thanks for letting me know. Glad to know there are people watching. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I enjoy it too. Okay, looks good. Let's keep it steady. We should see the airport to our left now. Is it that one? That's the one. Yes, that's where we're landing. So we're doing like an extended downwind leg here. A very large pattern. So the Prince George VOR should be somewhere there, maybe? Yeah, I'm not sure when we'll be asked to switch over to tower frequency. But we'll see. Okay, and now let's put our speed bug to 210 knots. We can slow down because if you look here, we actually have flap speeds here, right? VFE. So 230 knots we can deploy flaps 1 to 8. At 220 knots we can deploy flaps 20. Things like that. So below 230 knots we can start deploying flaps. And I want to be at 210 so we can be very maneuverable as we do our final approach in here. Okay. 900 feet per minute. Okay, let's slow down a bit. But yes, this plane has all that IFR vibes with minimal automation. There is autopilot, yes, but you have to manage the power yourself, right? There is no auto throttle. There's no auto thrust. There is VNAV, but normally the CRJs don't have VNAV in real life. So they use the vertical speed. They have guidance, but it's still up to the pilot to actually tweak the descent rate. It's quite nice. We were just flying on VATSIM. Ah, yes. Yes, I would love to go and use VATSIM again soon. Oh, look at that, guys. Perfect timing. It's almost sunset as we're arriving. Ah, this is what I was hoping for. Yeah, VATSIM is really the top tier when it comes to ATC communications. Pilot to ATC is great, a great offline alternative, so that we always have ATC coverage.
45 descent via the YXS transition to 4,200 feet.
Yeah, 4,200.
Descend to 4,200 feet via the YXS transition Jazz 8345.
Look at that, guys. We have a blue line there now, the Ghost ILS. You see Lock 1 is available, right? That's the ILS that's tuned in. So we'll switch that to there later after we turn, I'm not sure when actually. Maybe after we've reached vols here. Probably. Yeah, looks good. Let me double check. Vols at 4,200. We have to be descending much slower. 600 feet per minute. Also, I'm a bit slow here. Let's go 210 knots. Alright, Procars. Have a great night. Thank you for dropping by and glad you enjoyed your flight too. Speed it up, we're losing airspeed here. Because we slowed down our descent, so we lost some airspeed. So let's bring that back up. Game of the Year, hey Game Theorist. Actually not, I'm not very familiar with the Game of the Year edition adds. Looking forward to trying it out, but I know there are a lot of planes that will be added. Is the PC6 included? PC12 rather? I think the PC6 is included as well. FA-18 have VNAV. I would doubt. Isn't it something that would be, I don't know, mostly hand-flown? Not very familiar with the plane, unfortunately. Okay, let's see. 4,200 on the selected altitude. Let's go and get ready to tune into tower 118.3. Maybe we'll be asked to switch there soon. And let's start deploying flaps here. Let me move go 170 knots maybe. Go to flaps 20 in here. Let's slow down first though. Flaps 1. Let's see it moving. Flaps 8. And as we slow down more, I'll go to flaps 20. Let's see. 700 feet per minute. Okay. There we go. Flaps 20. That looks good. Man, look at that view. Oh my goodness. Perfect. Alright, looks good. Starting our left turn. Turning base.
Jazz 8345, altimeter 3028 at Prince George, contact tower on 118.3. Enjoy your afternoon.
Alright, 3028.
Altimeter 3028, tower on 118.3, Jazz 8345.
And we have that ready in here, so let's just switch there, 118.3. And let's report that we are approaching. Report approach. Inbound for ILS approach.
Jazz 8345 inbound for ILS approach to runway 15.
153
Jazz
on the
8345, good afternoon.
heading.
Radar contact. Continue ILS to runway 15, call when established on final.
There we go.
Continue ILS to runway 15 will call when established on final, Jazz 8345.
Slowing down. Slowing down even more. Let's keep 170 knots here. There we go. There's the runway in front of us. There we have it. Okay, as we make our left turn here, actually, maybe what I can do is go to nav 1 already, and then press nav and approach. Maybe nav first. Should make that left turn. Not really turning for us, is it? There we go. Oh yeah, maybe we should have done the... Nah, I think I switched too early. We should have made that left turn first before we moved to nav. That's okay. It can still work. It can still work. Let's go ahead and arm the approach here, so that when we cross over when we intercept the glide slope, they will come alive. That looks good. Let's correct here. I love the colors below. Okay. Let's see, feet on the ground, feet on the rudders, in case I would need to adjust crosswind. Although the winds are fairly straightforward supposedly. Let's turn on our reversers. Taxi lights are off. I'll turn that on when we are cleared to land. Need a bit more power. Let's see. Yeah, looks good. There we are. 1 dot away from the glide slope. Let's go ahead and deploy our landing gear. Gear's going down. Not the best approach. Well, I wonder why the autopilot is doing it this way. Not perfectly aligned with it. But okay, we'll adjust. And as we cross the glide slope, GS should be active. There we go, and we should start our descent. There we go, nice. And now we are established on the localizer in the glide slope, so we can report that.
Jazz 8345 established on final for ILS runway 15.
Jazz
go and set our V
8345
speeds.
lines are 142 and 6 knots clear to land runway 15.
Good, clear to land. Nope, we
Clear to land
overspeeding.
runway 15, Jazz 8345.
close to it. Clear to land, turn on taxi lights. Reversers are on, okay, looking good. Alright, there we are. Maintain V speeds in there. That looks stable. Turn off autopilot and have a bit of fun. Now, a bit of disclaimer, guys, I'm a bit rusty. So I think we can land this. Just not sure we can land this smoothly or properly within the touchdown zone. I might float a little. I have been very, what do you say? Reserved landing recently. Scared touching the ground. But yeah, the feel of this plane, hand flying it, feels so stable. And as you trim it, you really feel it changing. Looking good. We don't have PAPI lights in front, unfortunately, but we can make do with that. Winds are coming a bit from the right, almost straight in front, but a bit from the right. Okay, not perfectly aligned here. 1 second. There we go.
500.
Here it is. Looks good.
200.
Sink rate.
Bit steep. Okay, I'll shallow it down.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
There we go. See? Bit floaty. I think that's the ground effect, maybe.
Jazz 8345 exit runway 18.
Reversers, please. There we go, reversers. I think we'll have to taxi all the way to the end here. And maybe do a back taxi at the end. Okay. Stow the reversers. Good. So there should be like a U-turn slot at the end. Not too shabby, I'll take it. Let's turn off the flight director. There's like the U-turn slot. Let's clear the runway before we clean up the plane. Love it seeing the airport lights, and it's great what they've done recently. They finally fixed that part. Before, the airport lights were blurred when your resolution was above 1920 by 1080. If you had an ultra wide, if you had a bigger resolution, the lights would be blurred and would be weird. But now,
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
it actually looks good. Alright, there we go. Our flaps up. We'll need to taxi all the way to the middle of the runway. That's where the gates are. But that's okay. It's going to be a chill sightseeing field trip here. Welcome to Prince George, everybody. But yeah, the taxiing, the ground handling for this plane is amazing. Oh, look at the moon. I believe the moon is also pretty accurate, right? Depending on the date. It's pretty accurate to how things are, how the moon should really look like, the faces. Feels cold. Don't mind the roll from the seats. Good to hear. It does feel cold because it's outside. It's actually -5 degrees. Yikes. No wonder. Okay. We're not taking off, guys. No worries. Just taxiing. Let's go ahead and start the APU here. You see it starting off there. APU doors open. Actually, let me have a look outside. This is what I was wondering about, if you guys remember. If the flap really opens that way, that high. It does. That vent is so large, opens so wide. Alright, the ramp, maybe halfway there, I would say. Let me show you the chart. That's the chart. So that's the only way out. Here it's just you have to go around. Right, that's what we did. Oh. Looking good. APU is available, so we should be ready to, should be good to turn off the plane as soon as we are able. Alright, start slowing down here. There's the taxi. There's the taxiway to the gate. Even the brakes are very subtle. But yeah, the ground handling of this plane is one of the best I've felt in this sim. Because some of the planes are a bit squiggly with the ground handling. This one is amazing. Just the hand flying experience and the ground handling even is very well done. Right, here we go. Turn off those landing lights. Turn off the weather radar. And strobes we can turn off as well. Turn on the logo lights though. Sometimes I believe they also turn on the nose landing lights when it's dark for the CRJ. This helps with the taxiing. Now, are there any planes here? I wonder if they have any flight plans here, the simple traffic. Actually don't see anybody. Maybe not, huh? Maybe not. Where can we park? I don't see any gate actually. Might be on our own here, guys. No airline has ever landed here before, by the looks of it. Lots of cars though. After you get off the ground, after you get off the plane, you go direct to your car. Why not? Oh, there it is. There's a stairway there. Some stairs. Some GA planes maybe. No, let's just stop here. I think this is good enough. Good. Okay. Looking good. We have the APU on. I think we're all set. And let's go ahead and stop it here. X marks the spot, I think. Yeah, we do have some GA planes there, but no airliners here at all. Okay, this is as close as we can get, I think. Okay, park it up. Parking brake is set. Turn off the taxi lights. Seatbelt signs can go off. Right? Looking good. Logo lights, let's turn that off as well. And now we can actually turn off the engine. All good, all good. Open the doors.
Ladies and gentlemen, the door is open. Please make your way to the exit and please make sure you have all your personal items and carry-on luggage.
Looking good, guys. We made it. Shoo. Okay, nice. Now what else did I forget? First wheel steering goes off. And, well, I guess fuel pumps can go off. Well, let's just shut down the plane now. Probe heats, window heat. Turn off the air conditioning. Love the sounds. Turn off the APU. It's the batteries left. cool and turn off the batteries. Let's have a look outside first before we end the stream and the flight. There it is. All in one piece. I'm actually surprised we made it. Just in time for the sunset, actually. I like that. Nice. Alright, anyway. Turn this off. Get that menu in there. 1 hour airborne. Not bad at all. Yeah, these are the types of flights that I really like. Short and sweet. Cool. Alright. So let us leave it there, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for joining the stream. Have a good one. Catch you on Friday for some ATS convoy action. We'll still be in Canada, but on trucks that time. And we'll be doing a convoy. Check out Discord if you want to join. More details there on what mods are required and whatnot. But yes, see you there. Exclamation point Discord gets you there. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, then you'll have to email me. theclumsygeek@gmail.com so I can give you the link. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Clumsy flying. And have a good one. Catch you soon. Bye.